Hey guys, it's your boy Progress, and today I'm back with a brand new video. If you want to go and follow me on other social media stuff, I've got it on screen right here for my Twitter and Instagram, so if you're interested in looking at those, then go ahead and check them out. Also, before I get all those comments of people saying like, oh my god, can you please stop talking about Dax, you clout chaser, blah, 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 blah. I actually am now basically involved in this situation, as I've spent countless hours talking with all the people involved in this situation, as well as now Dax has done a live stream discussing the points made in my video. Also, this will be my last video on the Dax situation. Now that that's out of the way, I just wanted to say that this is kind of like a partial response to Dax's live stream, as well as bringing up some new things and kind of exposing how I think Dax manipulated his audience. So let's get into this. As I quickly mentioned at the beginning, Dax actually did a live stream on Instagram on April 2nd, and this was supposed to be responding to the points made in my video. Now, I don't really have a problem with Dax deciding to do this. I more so have an issue with when he chose to come out about it. The issue is that I got multiple replies from people who actually went and had addressed this stuff with Dax in DMs before he went out and did this, and he basically was trying to ignore what people were saying, or just saying that he wasn't gonna watch the video and all that kind of stuff. But then after 300,000 views, a comment section filled with hate, and a bleeding follower count, oh, now it's a big enough deal for Dax to care about. Which kind of shows me and you guys that even if he does apologize, we know that it's not really because he wanted to, it's kinda because we made him have to. Not only that, but I wanted to quickly mention something that I think a lot of people oversaw as well, which was that by Dax choosing to go live and discuss these things on his own story, where no one else can kind of debate him on whether or not the things he's saying are valid or not, he kind of was able to use this to his advantage, because he knows that most of the people who are actually going to be going to the live stream are gonna be people following him. The smallest percentage will be people who are just mad at him and want answers, but for the most part, the guy's got like 600,000 followers or whatever the hell it is, so you know for a fact that most people are going to be there because they're fans of Dax, and the odd person isn't going to be a fan of him. So by him being able to know this, he's able to be as vague as possible with his statements and his answers for what happened, and he's able to get away with it. And even before Dax did the live stream, he posted a few things to his story that were supposed to clear up some of the stuff that was said against him, the negative things that have been brought to light, but of course he only talks about the scamming stuff and doesn't even mention the Lil Peep situation, so that seems to be a reoccurring theme as well. Even in the response to the live stream, he seems to not want to mention Peep's name. Also, in his posts and stuff, and in the live stream about the Dario situation, he kind of ticked me off a bit because he's tried saying stuff like this.
Dude eventually is like, I don't want to do the verse. He goes, hey bro, I understand I'm not getting my money back. Time goes by, then this shit comes up. Mind you, I ended up paying this dude his money back, plus another $100. I even have the screenshots, everything. If you look at my story, boom. But
as you're easily able to see in this image right here of the PayPal refund Dax finally did, it says that it was done on March 30th, which, for those of you who don't know, is the day after my last video came out. So it wasn't like Dax months ago, or all the way back when this stuff happened, was, you know, giving him refunds and shit. People are upset because he didn't give him the refund. He's trying to make it seem like that this stuff was all in the past and dealt with, but that's just not true. Oh, also, sorry to randomly cut in here, but I just could not wrap my mind around the concept of Dax saying that down payments were non-refundable by default, so I decided to actually contact a lawyer to see if this was true or not. And basically, I gave him a whole rundown of the situation that was at hand of what happened with Dario and Dax, and then I basically said, like, if it were to be that he told me that down payments were non-refundable by default, is that true, or is he lying about it? And this is what he basically had to say. They're trying to like make me look bad and say that, oh, like, should have been smarter about it. A down payment means no refund.
Yeah, okay, so you know what? There's no legal basis for it whatsoever, and I don't think any reasonable person is going to believe that for a minute. A down payment, deposit, you can call it what you want. Whether or not it's refundable literally depends on the terms the parties agree to. Some people haven't agreed to those terms. It's not the case. So they're wrong, you're right. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So and that's the reason you're right. Okay. And the second part of it is that the contract negotiations were never completed, which means they didn't do anything to earn the money. Okay. So that's another reason why, even if it had been said to be non-refundable, it might still be refundable. okay? Because it's part of a larger contract, and if that larger contract doesn't happen, then there's no necessarily an entitlement to keep it unless the parties expressly agree, okay?
I also actually found out through the lawyer that what Dax is doing could be considered defamation.
So, you know, they're saying things in public that aren't true, and you may be concerned that that's going to harm your reputation and your ability to earn a living, right?
Well, yeah, it was...
Hold on, let me finish. We call that defamation, right?
It also doesn't help that if you look at the screenshots and stuff that Dax showed, he actually was doing stuff that I criticized him for in my last video, where he tries to hold himself to this massive pedestal. Here he does it to Dario with saying, 2 years from now you'll look back and say, I wish I would have just stayed cool with Dax. That's not exactly something you should be saying to someone that you're trying to apologize for taking their money. And not only that, but I actually have screenshots of what was said before that conversation, the stuff that was put on the story. And one thing that's actually a little bit funny is that Dax kind of tries to gas up Dario and the stuff before he decided to post on the story, and he says that, oh yeah, no, your last song that was really, really good, dude, so, you know, if you guys want to go and listen to that, since apparently Dax enjoyed that, then, I'm gonna go put it in the link in the description, so yeah, go check that out if you want. So the DMs that were before the ones in the story, you can actually see that basically Dax asked Dario, what did he do? Then Dario sends him my video, and then Dax says he's not gonna watch the video, but Dario ends up just telling him anyway what he thinks he did wrong, and to be honest, he was pretty fair with it, because as I said in my last video, when Dario was told to pay friends and family rather than it being for business or an item of some kind, that instantly makes it impossible for him to be able to get his money back if he ended up getting scammed or didn't get the product that he was told he was going to get when he paid for it, which, that enough is scummy, and that can be seen as something. But of course, Dax did not post those DMs because that doesn't make his image look good. Also, I'm sorry, but on the live stream, Dax ended up saying this.
So all these situations you hear about, first of all, no one's ever been scammed for money. There's no need for me to do that when a feature takes me 5 minutes to do. I can freestyle the bitch and send it back to you. I'm in the studio every day, so no one's ever been scammed.
But yet Dax was gonna charge Dario an extra $1,000 to drive less than an hour to go and sign a contract, or he was gonna charge him an extra $1,000 to go in studio to do his verse. Are you fucking crazy? Another thing I noticed that Dax kind of does frequently is these non-apologies, and what I mean by that is when you look at it at the surface, it seems like it's a normal apology, but then you actually look at it and read it more, and you realize it's less of him saying he's sorry for his actions, and that he's more so sorry that you caught him in the act. Like, for a dude who claims that this stuff is all in the past, he's pretty adamant on actually wanting to defend his past actions. You can actually go back on Dax's Twitter to when the situation with him taking the Lil Peep verse happened, and you can see where he apologizes for what happened, by him saying that it wasn't for clout, okay, and ends it off with, my apologies to anyone offended, rather than just saying, I'm sorry for what I did. Like, bro, why are you sorry for them being offended rather than being sorry for the shit you did? It doesn't make any sense. Even in the live stream, Dax does a non-apology with the entire Lil Peep situation, and here it is.
The verse, that shit was a mistake. That was a situation that was over a year ago, back in Wichita, Kansas, when I was an overnight janitor. I made a mistake. The other people made a mistake. I should have not even used the verse once I figured out dude had been selling this shit to multiple people. So that whole situation was just a mistake and something I wish would never happen, but obviously I can't go back. It happened over a year ago, and I took full responsibility for that shit.
Well, you take full responsibility for the situation. What was that you just said like 5 seconds ago?
I made a mistake. The other people made a mistake. And when it happened, I was like, yo, that shit was just a fuck up. It was a misunderstanding on my part, misunderstanding on their part. And that was the grave situation, so I just, boom, just took everything down and let that shit go.
Honestly, I think a lot more people would have respect for Dax if he had just come clean and just said, I fucked up, I'm sorry for what I did, and I understand that it was wrong. And if you go through the messages and the posts and everything about this Lil Peep situation, you can always see that Dax's involvement with the song originally was to be a side part. He was never the main focus. But then he ended up taking the stems to the song, deleting deleting everybody's verses off except for Peeps, adding on his own new verses to compensate for the stuff he took off, got the beat remade, remixed everything, and then he got music video footage and the stuff that he stole from Lil Peep's photographer for when Peep has his verses in. Like, this was all very planned. None of this was just a simple, oopsies, I didn't mean to do that, oh no. It was like a, I intended to do this from the start type of thing. Also, with the comments he's making about this being the old him, like, really, Dax? Really? Cause, oh, okay, yeah, you know, like, that's the old you, right, man? That's not you right now. Like, how old were you, like, 15 or 16 when it happened? No? 23? Oh. And you didn't know that stealing a dead man's verse and scamming people was bad? Yeah, it's not too good. Oh, and in your live, you said this?
I don't even do features anymore. Everything we're talking about is months in the past. A year back. Past situations.
Oh, wait, that's right. But you also fucked people over this year, too. Like Crypt, Screwface John, Chase. Yeah, that's right, man. I mean, I don't really think that a rape metaphor was a very good look for Mr. Positive.
Took the whole game, made my bitch, and now I'm fucking raping. Yeah. Fucking raping.
Also, I don't get Dax's point in saying that this was months ago or even years ago. Like, what? Are we just not allowed to criticize something unless it was like a week ago, a day ago, an hour ago? Like, I'm not really sure what he's opening the door for criticism under if he's gonna not even accept something that happened literal months ago. I'm also not too big of a fan of his, like, I left that back in Kansas type of thing, because that basically is a complete avoidance of criticism, and rather than allowing a discussion to be had about your past actions, it's more so closing the doors on it and saying, no, guys, it's not me. I swear, it's not me. Because if the things that have been brought up against Dax aren't true, then why is it that I am able to provide so many sources who are saying similar things as each other of things that he's done, but yet, when he has the option to be able to argue them or to discuss them, he either, one, is just straight up vague with the situations, or two, has to completely lie about the situation to make his audience stay on his side. In the live as well, Dax brought up something that I think is pretty interesting to talk about, and that is the stuff that I mentioned very quickly at the beginning about how he says that it only takes him 5 minutes to freestyle a verse.
Sure, but if you don't pay the price that I think I'm worth, you're not gonna get the verse that you should get. And especially if the song is trash. That's just the way shit goes. You can't want a V8 engine. Let's say you can't afford the V8 engine, you got to buy the V6. You can't pay for a V6 engine and expect to get the V8 quality.
This is the absolute worst argument that I have ever heard when it comes to this stuff. Not only just because Dax is getting paid $1,000, which would mean that he's getting $200 a minute for a 5-minute freestyle, but also, this dude has posted a picture to his own Instagram that says, do more than you're paid for, and eventually you'll be paid for more than you do. The saying isn't there to tell you that you're supposed to work less hard as you make more money, it's telling you that you work hard through everything you do, but eventually you'll be getting paid even more than you feel that you worked for. But you still put your all into it. Where is this logic now, Dax? You're out here saying that 1K isn't enough of your worth for a full feature, yet I bet you did a fuck ton more work for a fuck ton less back when you were a janitor. But oh wait!
When you're an overnight janitor, no one's like watching you. So I was able to like speed through my work, and I could like sneak out and go to the studio.
So maybe it seems like there could be a little bit of a pattern of Dax deciding to not actually put his all into his job. In the live stream, Dax also decided to bring up the Screwface John situation and once again was not truthful about it.
Someone said what happened with Screwface Gene. He didn't pay me for promotion. That's what it is. I told him I would potentially promote it if I fucked with it. I didn't really end up fucking with it, and he was pressing me when I was trying to promote the Hobson song, and I was like, hey, bro.
Dax tries saying that Screw never paid for the promotion of his song, which, if you actually look at the messages sent back and forth between these two guys, you can see that that just isn't the case. You can see here that Screw said, hey, the song's audio came out, can you push that? And then Dax ends up saying that he would rather wait until until the actual music video came out, and then Screw said, yeah, okay. So they agreed upon that. I don't see how anything else needs to be said. Dax always wants to talk about business, but when people call him out for not doing his proper business or things that he's agreed to do, he then tries to say, nah, that never happened, when it's right there. Oh, and one last random thing that I wanted to throw in here that I kind of thought was interesting was someone had contacted me through Twitter saying that they had worked with Dax in the past, and they had proved this to me by showing their name in a project that is still on Dax's channel to this day, and they were also being followed by Thad, who, if you don't know, that is Dax's cameraman. And basically, he had said that Dax actually said this to Thad one day. He told Thad one day that he could have had a better job that could pay more, but he thought being a janitor would be a better story. Thad had problems with Dax paying him because of it. Now, obviously, you can take that with whatever you want it to be, but if that ever did come out to be true, that is pretty fucked up. Not only would it make the bars about being a janitor that are constantly annoying, not only would it make them kind of lose their validity in that sense, but it also would be worse because to Thad, it would have been a constant reminder that he's getting paid less or not even getting paid the proper times because of Dax choosing to do this for his own image. But yeah, basically, that's gonna be it for it. There's not a whole lot else to say. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching, and also a massive shout out to the completely awesome patrons that I have. And this month, they are Scrubby, Tazier, and Medusa Lives. You guys are so awesome. With your support, you're able to actually help me be able to pay for the editing software and other stuff that I use every month to be able to make these videos. So, thank you guys. It honestly means the world to me. If you do want to support me on Patreon, you can go in the link in the description as always, and you'll be able to see it there, and you can check out what stuff I have to offer for the different tiers. But yeah, guys, once again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.
They ain't see me down, now on top, bitch.